Hi, this is Julie at Love's Beginning with a message called A Path Without Suffering. God provides a script we can follow. There is always a path to follow that holds no distress, no tension, and no judgment. For a while, you think the path of judgment and tension gives you something reality can't, so you attempt to follow it. As you feel through the layers of lies to which you attached, you begin to see that what you want is not to be right about something in a world of false perception that you made up. You want to be happy, and you want this happiness for everyone. As you come to see that no one is deserving of special suffering, you finally see that you do not deserve to suffer, because you have never done anything wrong. If you have never done anything wrong, then neither has anyone else. If you have a dream about your neighbor committing murder, you don't call the police when you wake up. You know that it was never real, and it never happened. You come to see the dreamlike nature of everything that seems to be happening around you, and you gradually withdraw from trying to gain any stability from these happenings. There is something you want to allow to rise to prominence, and it's not your separate self. Your separate self is part of the fabric of the dream, shifting and unstable. It cannot be your mini-God, the post you plant deeply into firm ground, a stable something to compare to a real something else. The separate self can be none of these things, and you come to know this. You are learning to stop attempting to define yourself, or anyone you call else, through the sight and judgment of these separate selves. Every self is a mirror. If you are looking at the surface, you are seeing a mirror of unstable and shifting comparative identity that ultimately has no meaning. If you are looking beyond the surface, you see the light you are. This is where all the stability is. And this is where the script without suffering makes itself obvious. Sometimes you will look in a mirror and you will ask, why is my mirror showing me that? Let's look at pedophilia, use of child bodies. The site of pedophilia is the site of someone using child bodies, a someone who isn't you. The one who looks upon this site is using the idea of child bodies as victims in order to accuse and blame and compare. It's a deep lesson, but it's one you can see. If you're blaming anyone, you're blaming yourself. If you're blaming yourself, you're blaming God, of whom you are an inseparable part. Blaming God, you have no access to the script without suffering. You state instead that separate things are real, suffering is real, and pain is God. We can speak of these things because you are willing to recognize them and to turn away from them. When you turn toward the light and one you called victim, you turn toward yourself. When you turn toward the light and one you called wrongdoer, you turn toward the truth of your shared and innocent self. You do not have to allow a dream to cover over the reality of your shared and innocent self. You may look upon it at any time you wish. You can start to take a look at what ego tells you you want out of child bodies. Do you want the pleasure of obedience? Do you want the pleasure of neatness? Do you want the pleasure of accomplishments on display? Do you want the child bodies to reflect that this world of your imagination is real and should continue? This is the question the ego doesn't want you to see, but you can still stand here and look at it. You are not a wrongdoer if you believed a dream to be real, and neither is anyone you see as else. You are dreamers, and you are confused. You wake up together. Pedophilia is a seemingly separate aspect of your dream world. No aspect of a dream world is any separate one's fault, but sight of separate aspects is your responsibility. If the unstable opposites are real, ego keeps you in the perception of hell in defense mode, so you hold on to defense mode, which makes the sight of more disorder. It always feeds itself. As you look past the surface of an unstable world to the stability of light equally within all and everything, you look toward that which has all the solutions to what you think you see. Instead of judging what you think you see, you learn to look steadily toward the light. As you allow the light everyone is to be in charge, you have access to a script without suffering. In their false selves, people are always the reflection of one part of a pair of opposites you wanted to see. In their true self, they're just here with us, whole and clean. It doesn't matter if someone seems to be displaying the good opposite or the bad opposite. You wanted to see opposites, so here they seem to be. Opposites can't actually exist, so they only seem to appear in dreams. Your dream of opposites is not precious, and it is safe to let it go. If you believe you can extract something you want from your dream of opposites, you will continue to hold on to it. Spirit transforms your dream into a classroom and gently leads you through and out of it. It is safe to follow. Every judgment from ego that you believe, you are holding it against yourself and everyone else. So if you make a judgment about something seemingly safe, something that it seems okay to hate, because someone over there is the wrongdoer, you forget that it is yourself over there that you are hating. Yourself, in whatever form it seems to show up, and with whatever fear disguise you gave it, is only yourself. You will get better at seeing through the fear disguise and remaining calm. You will remember that sending hostility seemingly outward is sending it straight toward yourself. You will eventually come to see that hostility isn't real and has no real effects, but it seems to be only because you wanted it. In taking responsibility, you acknowledge the power you share with all. As you acknowledge this power, you allow it to guide you and all along a path without suffering. We are here, and we see your true self, the one that has never been held in anything other than love. We radiate and magnify this self through everything you experience in this dream as much as you will allow us to do it. We give thanks eternally for you and all, and it is always our joy to assist you as you wake up to what you can allow. Thanks for listening.